Hey, what is up, guys? We are here with the Triborg character breakdown. If you haven't seen the character breakdown videos before, we talk about a character's notable normals, strings, special moves, differences between all their variations, as well as a basic game plan. Today we're looking at Triborg. Before we talk about any of the characters separately, first we're going to talk about the core character, and then I'll start talking about each variation independently, because they're pretty much all different. So if you want to know about a specific character, watch this intro part and then skip to that character's section of the breakdown. So we're going to talk about his normals first. So Triborg has a couple of good normals. Standing 1 and forward 1 are your combo starters. They're really fast. Both of them are high, and there's a couple of good strings off of both of those. Back 1 is an overhead universally in all of his variations. It's really great combo starter. You can cancel it into whatever special move you want, and there's some strings off of that as well. Back 3 is a low, looks just like that, little kick there. And forward 3 is also a low. It's different in the other variations. Sector has his own animation for it, and I'll show that when I get to them. 4 is a really good for damage and combos, as well as anti-air. It has a great hitbox for anti-air. You're going to use that a lot. And forward 4 is a knee. There's a couple of strings off of that, and some of the other variations have things that they can do off of it in particular. Now, as far as universal strings go, 1 1 1 2, really great string because you can stagger 1 1. You could do 1 1 1, or you could do the whole thing, right? And you could special cancel that at any point. You could stop it and go for mix-ups. You could do whatever you want. So that's a really important string to this character. Besides that, back 1, 2 plus 4 is different for every character. In particular, Sektor can meter burn it and gets a full combo after. So that's just one thing he has. Forward 1. Like I mentioned earlier, really good high. It also has a low follow with forward 1 3, and there's, you know, forward 1 3 1 if you want to do the whole string. 2 1 2 is different for every character. They all have their own thing. Sector shoots fire out of his chest. 2 1 3 is that similar string, but there's an overhead at the end. He has his back 3 down 4, which is low overhead there, and you can also do up 3 at the end for that little throw. You also have back 3 up 4, really unsafe on block, but pretty good damage there. And finally forward 4 3. There's other stuff out of forward 4 that the different characters get, but that's just universally. Now that we've covered universal stuff, let's move into each variation. So, Sektor, back 2, big normal, goes pretty far, right? Sektor is the zoning trap variation, by the way. Well, I guess kind of Cyrax is too, but Sektor much better at zoning, I think, and more of a defensive character with some interesting tricks. Forward 3 in this, like I mentioned, a little different than the other characters. As well as his forward 2 1 2 is a little different because he can cancel it into backdash. Actually, it takes stamina to do it if you look at the top there, but you can cancel it to keep yourself safe or just create space there, which is really great. 2 1 2 is the flame, like I mentioned, looks just like that. His back 1 2 plus 4 is great in particular because boom, pop up combo, really legit. Let's talk about his special moves. His straight missile is back forward 1. It's really fast. This thing is a great zoning tool, and the EX version shoots a bunch of missiles. They do pretty good damage and they combo if they hit. But yeah, his zoning with this move in particular is pretty legit. He also has his homing missile, which is down back 2. Now down back 2, if you just do it without any input, will home on to your opponent. If you hit back, it'll go in front. If you hit towards them, it'll go away. EX version's a homing missile, right? So you can do different things with strings even, and cancel into it, and then run up and continue pressure and all that kind of stuff. And if you see that the missiles hit from full screen, you can just teleport and combo off of it. So those missiles are really key to this character. Speaking of teleport, it's down back 4. You can EX this move, and you get a pop-up at the end for a combo. You can also do it in the air. And if you do, there's a follow-up off of it as well with back forward 3 plus meter burn, so you have to spend a bar for it. You can also do that on block off of the EX version and stuff like that. But it just sends them full screen, so you can set up stuff like this and then go for the missile and all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, that's teleport. Flame burner down 3. Keeps them standing. EX version has a massive hitbox. Oh, can I not do the EX version? There we go. Execution not the greatest, but yeah, EX version, massive hitbox, hits on both sides. Really great move there. And Cybercharge is back forward 3, only in the air. Looks just like that. You can EX it as well. It's pretty similar to that follow-up we saw earlier off of the teleport. This one. It's pretty similar to that. But yeah, that's Sektor. Really zoning heavy character. Traps as well. But probably not as trap-based as Cyrax. Just really good zoning, mobility, setups. Best teleport out of the characters probably. Super legit character. Now, let's talk about Cyrax. Cyrax back 2 is also different from Sektor, right? Sektor had that far-ranging normal. This time, Cyrax is that overhead that everybody knows, hates, and loves if you play Cyrax. Forward 3 is different, like I mentioned. This is the animation that the other 3 characters have. It's a little different from Sektor's, right? It doesn't knock down as well. His back 1, 2+4 is a little different. It has the grinder in the chest that you guys remember from MK9. 2-1-2 does the bomb. Just looks like that. And 4-2-1-1 looks just like that. Another string for him that's a little bit different. Let's talk about the special moves for Cyrax. Back forward 1 is not the missile for him. Instead, it is net. Now, the EX net actually drains half your opponent's bar, so it'll drain half of a meter there on the bottom. I have the meter set to infinite, but yeah, so it's going to drain half a meter there. Not the full meter like in the old games. His chest saw is down back 1, looks like that. You can EX it as well, and that's a really good combo starter, so you can use it for stuff like that. It's, you know, pretty simple. It's not an overhead in this game, though. It's a mid, by the way. Just something to keep in mind. His bombs. So he can do his bombs at 3 directions. He can do down back 3 for close bomb. He can do down down 3 for mid bomb. And down forward 3 for far bomb. Now, he can shoot multiple bombs at the same time. They just can't be the same distance. So you could shoot, you know, for instance, far bomb plus close bomb and then mid bomb. And that works fine, but you can't do like far bomb into far bomb. It doesn't work. Nothing comes out of his chest. So you can only have, you know, one of each kind of bomb out at once. You can also EX it. EX bombs will explode automatically when you hit your opponent. They also just linger there and explode normally. So those are the bombs, and they are lows. So you can do stuff like low bomb plus overhead, you know. So you can get mix-ups like that, and that's classic Cyrax stuff. His teleport is down forward 4. Looks like that. He reappears. The EX version, you can choose which side he's going to land on, in the front or in the back. Also has a hitbox on it. Pretty big. You can combo off of it as well. You can also do that in the air. It's just something to keep in mind. The EX version is so fast. Power grab is down back 4. Now, if I launch my opponent, whoops, you'll see what it looks like here. So it's just a dunk. The EX version of it, you can actually combo off of. It dunks him on the floor. And you can do that in the air as well. And if you grab your opponent there in the air, same thing. The EX version dunks him for a combo. Regular version just slams him to the ground. And finally, his hover bomb. This is pretty similar to his low bombs as well. So he has down back 2, down down 2, and down forward 2. They shoot him at different angles, right? Same kind of thing as before, where the EX ones, they will explode automatically when they collide with your opponent. You can see. Do a little extra damage too. So that's pretty nice. And that is Cyrax. So bombs, traps, mix-ups, all that good stuff that you know and love if you've played Cyrax before. He's pretty similar to his MK9 self. Smoke. Smoke back 2 looks like that. It's the far back 2, just like Sektor's, but he has a ton of crazy strings off of it. So it's not the Cyrax overhead that you just saw. He has back 1, 2+4 is that Sektor one, but you notice here I'm trying to meter burn it and I can't meter burn it. So it's like Sektor's, but it doesn't have the option to meter burn it for a pop-up combo, right? But you know, he has a bunch of other strings, probably more than the other robots for sure, and they're really different. They also create these smoke effects, same with his neutral jump punch, that make it really hard to tell where smoke is, right? He has these crazy mix-ups, standing mix-ups, and anti-zoning is kind of Smoke's thing. So he has his back 2 that I mentioned earlier, right? So this back 2, you have the follow-up with 1-3, and that's a low, or you can do 1-4. And that's a high, right? But you see it just creates the smoke effect. So you can stop it early and walk up and go for whatever, and you can smoke to the other side and whatever you want to do there, right? So yeah, he has some crazy stuff there that is actually really interesting. And it's just, man, the kind of mix-ups you can create with this character with the smoke effects are really sick. He also has his forward 2-1-3, pretty similar stuff as before, and forward 2-1-4. Again, puts that smoke effect. You can go to the other side with your smoke moves, whatever you want to do. Forward 4 has a follow-up with down 1, 2 there. That's a launcher. So the knee actually turns into a launcher, which makes it such a great tool for punishing things. If the knee is your best punish in some situations, then this is going to be really good. Forward 4, 2, also a similar kind of thing. And he has an air throw in this. The air throw is a little bit different because it's got a crazy animation on it, where he whirls you around like that. Let's talk about his special moves. Trident's back forward 1. It pulls you in. You can go for a combo after, right? Kind of like Scorpion. You can go for standing resets here too if you want as well. So it's that kind of thing. Pretty similar to that EX version. Looks just like this. Zaps you and leaves you standing as well for a long time. Smoke Cloud is down back 1. This is his main thing. It's -6 on block, which is pretty good. You can do strings into it like that and then combo after, and then, you know, whatever, go into the standing reset with this, and that's kind of like your main thing with Smoke there. You can also EX it, which is plus on block. You can still combo off that as well, and he can throw that front. You can throw that far, or he can throw that on your opponent, right? And it's always gonna, if it hits, it's always gonna put them right above you for a combo. So just like what you would expect out of Smoke. He also has his teleport, which is down back 4. It looks like that. Comes out of the sky. EX version as well, if I can do it. There it is. A little extra damage, plus a pop up for a combo. You can also do that in the air. You can cancel stuff and do it in the air like that. So that's his teleport, down back 4. Smoke away is what I was doing earlier. It's down back 3 or down forward 3. Now, if you take a look at my stamina in the upper left, you can see that it's draining every time I use these. So it takes half your stamina to use one of these. But this is really great for mix-up stuff. So if you know, you can do stuff like that where you smoke behind them and then maybe smoke back to the front or whatever. And that's like your main, yeah, you can do crazy stuff there. Even with this. Smoke to one side and then, you know, whatever away. So you can get really confusing with it, create particle effects that makes it hard to see. You can also EX it a little faster as well. EX just looks like that. You can do it, you can't do it in the air like his teleport, but you can do his down 3, which is dissipate. Now this is invisibility like a lot of characters had. You can sort of see him here. EX version of it, invisible, like fully invisible. You can smoke over here, go for a throw or whatever. Whatever kind of crazy mix-ups you can. And then it'll run out after a while and he'll turn back to, you know, visible again. So Smoke, very mix-up heavy character. Crazy. He can run away a bit, right, and throw smoke bombs all day. But he can also, which is, you know, really good counter zoning. But he also has really strong mix-ups with his restand with Trident, plus his different strings that teleport him around. And this kind of stuff, he can get really, really confusing. Put that with an overhead as well. Overhead smoke bomb kind of stuff. You can do stuff like that. It's really dangerous. Really dangerous mix-up character when he's in your face. Finally, Cyber Sub-Zero, which makes this character quad board more than Triborg, but you know, whatever. Back to overhead, kind of like Cyrax, pretty similar even with the animation. Same thing with the forward 2. This is different in this. He has this far-ranging stab. It is a high, so you can duck under it. That's one thing to keep in mind. But crazy range, knockdown, almost 10% on that. Pretty nice. Back 1, 2 plus 4. Again, different in this stance. Freezes them. Looks, you know, pretty cool. And you can EX it and combo off of it. So that's pretty legit. So him and Sektor can do that. Forward 1, 2. Looks just like that. Slams the ground. Really easy to combo off this in the corner, or if you have drone buff, which I'll get into in a second. 2 on 2, same kind of thing. You can drone buff that as well. Now, let's talk about the drones. Before we get into the special moves, we're going to start with the one that lets you power up the rest, which is drones. So you can do down 3 and summon a bunch of drones. Max of 3. EX version of drone buff automatically gives you 3. Okay. Now this is used to enhance your normals and your special moves. So that forward 1, 2 we saw earlier looks just like that, right? 12%, kind of hard to combo off it. But if I enhance it, it's a bigger pop-up, and I can run up and get a combo off of it. Much easier, right? Super easy to just run up there and get something. And you do that by holding onto the button. So for instance, this string is forward 1, 2. If I hold on to that 2 there, I get the big pop-up and everything, right? Same thing with 2 on 2, you get extra damage on that, and it blows them back further if you use the drone buff. So let's get some drone buffs and I'll talk about some of the other special moves. Now, Ice Ball is back forward 1, looks like that, freezes them. Now the EX version of this is the beam, and the drone version of both of these drain life over time. So if I do this and I use the drone version, you can see it drains life over time. If you look up at Liu Kang's health bar there, yeah, so it's going to do some damage over time. Same thing with the EX one if you use a drone as well. So that's what you get for drone buffing there. That's the Ice Ball, really good zoning tool. His slide is down back 4, looks like that, and EX version as well with a little pop-up at the end. Cannot use the drone buff on this. The dive kicks are down 3 and down 4. Now down 4 goes farther, down 3 is closer, and you can use this off a lot of things. They have really fast whiff recovery, as you can see there. I can jump and do them really quickly. So you can even do like air combos where you do like neutral jump punch, jump, and then whiff, and then land and punch. So that's really, really nice for combo ability. But you can also enhance these. So EX version looks like that, does 12%. If I use the drone buff, it's going to do 17 instead. And that is the dive kick. Whoops. Okay, so got some drone buffs. Ice Bomb is his Cyrax-esque bomb. He has down forward 2, down 2, down back 2. Same kind of rule as Cyrax where you can shoot all the different ones, but you can't shoot the same one twice. So I can't do the close one twice. I'd have to do far plus, you know, then close and then mid or whatever, right? So those are the bombs. You can also enhance those as well, and as you might be able to guess, if you use the drone buff on them, then they do damage over time, which is pretty nice. The EX version of the bomb also looks just like that. I'll do the EX without the drone buff this time. But yeah, keeps him on the ground. You can see no damage over time unless you use the drone buff. That's when you're going to get it. And you know, it's a low, just like Cyrax, so you can do, you know, mix-ups with overhead or this overhead or whatever you want to do, right? And that's his basic game plan, right? He can knock you down with like a string or whatever, and then set up a bomb. Whoops. And then do overhead and create mix-ups there, freeze you, put you in the same situation, set up a bomb, get drones. And yeah, anytime he gets a knockdown, he can also just like summon drone. It's pretty easy to do. Do that, summon drone. So you have a lot of time to do that kind of stuff. And your main goal here is to build up drones, which you can use to empower all your moves, get extra damage on everything. He's a highly mobile character. He gets around really easily between slide and dive kick. And then just forward advancing normals and stuff like that. Cyber Sub-Zero is trap based. He's dangerous. He's kind of like Cyrax, but he has free stuff like Sub-Zero. That's how I would describe him. Really interesting character. And that is it for Triborg. Or more, you know, Quadborg or whatever you want to call him. Thanks so much for watching. Even if you watched for one specific character or whatever, or if you watched the whole thing, I really appreciate it. This has been the Kombat Pack 2 character breakdowns. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again soon.